Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey Diana, how you doing? Howdy Jordan, good to see you. Hope you're all well. It is storming again here in Singapore, so you might hear the thunders rolling around, just to let you know. We'll give it a minute before we get started. I'm very happy today, got my 50 pips in before this session on the US yen. Was sharing that on the Discord channel. Last night it broke, or not last night, yesterday evening, my time it broke. It got down to the support, traded it down, good 50 pips. Overnight broke the support, and then this morning traded it down for another 50. It bounced off our support. Looks like it might be coming back down again. I'll show you more on the charts when we get to that. If you are on the Discord channel, I hope you got onto that trade as well. It's been a relatively easy, I don't like to say the word easy, but relatively straightforward 100 pips on the US yen since yesterday. Jimmy, good morning, good day, how are you doing? Hey Jack, hey David. Thunderstorms in Brisbane as well. It sounds like it's thunderstorms everywhere. I mean, just, what was it, last week? There were thunderstorms or rain, heavy torrential rain in Dubai. Now a thunderstorm, and it's a rainy period here, so it's been thunderstorming and raining in Singapore and in Brisbane as well. So hope you guys all stay dry, stay safe. Hey Desiree, how you doing? Hope you're well. Is it raining where you are? I don't think it's actually raining yet. I think it's just storming, not yet. Maybe raining, no idea. Hey Red, how you doing? Good morning. All right, let's get started. Again, if you are new to the session, do remember, drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. And if you can, do click on the link there. Discord channel is available for you guys. Do make sure you join the Discord channel. That's where we can take our discussions beyond this daily market analysis session. For all the regulars, a big welcome back. Good to see you guys. Please help me out if you can. Click the like and subscribe button. That would help massively. And with that, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. So the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. And please remember that your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. All right? I'm trying to see how quickly can I get through this disclaimer. One breath, go through it. But yeah, very important to make sure that you take that on board. If you guys have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. Clear and sunny in Saudi Arabia. Good to see, good to see. I want to go visit Saudi as soon as possible actually. A lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting developments happening there, so I'd love to go visit soon. Never know, sooner than later. And it always rains in the UK. It does, David, it does. Another place I love to visit all the time. That's always high on my holiday list, to go to the UK. The last time I was there was just before COVID. So it wasn't a very long time ago, but due for a visit again. All right. Good morning, Pips Apprentice. Hope you're well. And for everyone else on trading.live, good to see you all. And for some reason, TradingView is okay. Someone just popped on TradingView, so good to see everyone on TradingView as well. Okay, so what happened? What happened since the last time we spoke? By the way, sound check, make sure it's all good. You guys can hear me all right. Seems like I might have sorted, I hope I don't jinx it, but seems like I might have sorted out the sound issue. Good morning, Christina, how are you doing? Saudi Arabia is a very beautiful place, full of untouched. Yeah, I do want to go visit. I want to make a trip there. So I'll let you guys know if I have something planned, all right? So where we were, okay. Where were we? Okay, nothing much from last night in terms of the news, right? Which also reflects what we saw on the dollar pretty much after our session. We were there at 4 o'clock. Dollar index was pretty much sitting, as I was saying, consolidate along this level 103.50 and 103.70. So if I proper representation is about 103.50 to 103.70. So it was consolidating along that range all the way through to very early this morning, 2 a.m., where it broke out of that consolidation. This morning started trading to the downside, started continuing to that downside. So it wasn't because of any news that we saw from last night, but more because of things that were said early. So you can see that the dollar started pushing lower at that 2 a.m. timing here. You can see right there, 2 a.m. timing here as it broke out of that consolidation. One of the reasons I would attribute it towards is what Governor Bailey from the Bank of England actually said during his speech at the Henry Plum Memorial Lecture. Okay, main headliner is that he said interest rates may have to rise again. Right, interest rates may have to rise again. So because the governor of the Bank of England says interest rates may have to rise again, that led to the pound dollar. You can see at 2 a.m. it was just sitting right there. We were looking for that double top formation. At 2 a.m. it started pushing to the upside. Pardon me. Right, it started pushing to the upside and then continued to push higher, mainly because of that sentiment from the Bank of England that interest rates may have to rise again. Following on from that, we had Governor Bullock speaking at 7 a.m. And the monetary policy meeting minutes from the RBA 8:30 a.m. GMT plus 8. No big surprises here, but you would see that it was not that one. You see that it was a bit of a hawkish sentiment, where they said, you know, why is it a hawkish sentiment? Because they kept talking about further tightening would depend on data, assessment of risk. We know that already. They've been saying that all the time. Growing mindset among businesses that cost increases could be passed on to the consumers or the customers. RBA will do what is necessary to return inflation to target. Okay, we know that. Further tightening depend on incoming data and risk not returning to CPI to target by end 2025 had reason. Right, so risk of not returning the CPI to its target level that it said it could get there by end of 2025 now has risen. So that is going to again increase the likelihood or show a sentiment of an increase of likelihood that the RBA could hike rates again. Right, that hiking rates is not off the table. It could hike rates again, and CPI forecast would be higher if not based on 1 to 2 hikes, and then they considered case for raising rates or holding it steady. So it was a little bit of a hawkish move, sentiment, but what we actually saw on the dollar, on the Aussie dollar at 8 a.m. I'll move that right there. Right, it's only a small move to the upside. It came up to that 6585 level, tested, and then started retracing back down a bit. So no big moves there on the Aussie dollar, despite the monetary policy meeting minutes showing that it's a little bit more hawkish because it's meeting minutes. It's meeting minutes. It's talking about something that happened earlier in the month, right? It happened on the 7th of November. So about 2 weeks ago, it's talking about something about that. So that's why we see a bit of impact, but not massive impact. You don't see the Aussie dollar shooting strongly to the upside because this is just meeting minutes. With that, at 6:15 p.m. GMT +8, we have monetary policy report hearings from the UK, but the main event for today would be the CPI number for the Canadians, right? CPI number for the Canadians, trimmed CPI year on year was 3.7, expected 3.6. Median CPI 3.8, expected 3.6. Looks like market analysts are considering a slowdown in inflation growth for the Canadians, which could lead to some further weakness on the Canadian dollar, right? Because again, like we have seen on the US and also on the UK data, CPI data release, a slowdown in inflation growth leads to less likelihood for the central bank to have to increase rates. So if this trimmed CPI, which excludes the 40% most volatile items, it's on its way, somewhat on its way down. It's a bit mixed. So if it does come out at that, I don't think we'll see much at 3.6, but if we see 3.5 or 3.4, we might see quite a significant drop on the CAD weakness, or push up on the US CAD. 4.1 to 3.8, now 3.8. This could be a 3.4. Right, so we might see the Canadian dollar. I'm possibly thinking that we might see some Canadian dollar weakness to come around. And then another thing to watch out for is tonight, or well, early tomorrow morning. Tonight for you guys, early morning for me, is at 3 a.m. GMT +8. We have the FOMC meeting minutes. Meeting minutes, and that's why I was telling you all about the RBA meeting minutes. There was some movements, there was some price volatility, but it's not massive because it is meeting minutes. Again, FOMC meeting minutes could bring about some price volatility, but I don't think it's going to bring about massive price movements. Okay, so that's the main things to look out for. The rest I will tell you more about tomorrow during our next currency call, or next daily analysis at 3 p.m. same time, same place. Now, looking at the charts, just wanted to share with you this first off. This was the US yen, so I was sharing this just as my trade closed out yesterday at about 6 something, right? 6 something. I was talking to one of our students in the Discord channel. What happened? Got in, it broke out of this level. It didn't push up as much as I thought. So it sat there, broke down. I did get in at 148.85, came down a good 50 pips to the downside to that support level. I held off, right? I held off as I was waiting for it to break that support early this morning. Well, not very early this morning, at about 10 something this morning. I was sharing the Discord channel at about 147.80. I was saying to sell down for the yen to test the support level at 147.30. So again, that was a good 50 pips to the downside. If you got onto that yen, do let me know. Do let me know. Okay, so I'll take that away for now. Right now, the yen is coming again back down to that support level. The question here would be, could it break down and hit lower? We'll talk about that as we come up to it. Now, back to the dollar index first off. Before that, hello Goju, how you doing? Hey Javka, how you doing? Good morning Ismat, good to see you. Hey Erwin, nice to see you again. Now, dollar index. Take all this away, all these scribbles, we can take that away. We can extend this because it's continuing that move to the downside. So I'm happy to extend that. Now zooming right out, I see that there's a big major support here at 103. Right, even if you catch this point right there, so just at 103 is a big major support here on the dollar index. You can see that the last time, or the last two times, it bounced off this support level, 22nd of August, and in the range of the 30th and 31st of August. So towards the end of August, we saw the dollar index test 103 and bounce quite strongly. If it breaks beyond 103, then the next support level, you could have it here at 102.80. I wouldn't do that. I'll put a dotted line there at 102.80. Beyond that, I know that there's a major level here at 101 almost 101.80, but I feel that that's quite far away. Right, we're at 103. We're at 103 right now, approaching 103 right now. To anticipate that you'll get to 101.80 is going to be quite a reach. So I think we have an intermediate level here at 102.80. We definitely have another place here at 102.45. Okay, so with that, coming back to the current levels, let me do something here. Let me see what levels can I keep. I can take that one away for now. It's not so relevant. Take those away. In fact, we can even take that away as well. And we'll keep that for the short-term move to the downside. Now, dollar index is trading lower, right? It's pushing lower. It's on a good trend to the downside. It's in a good channel, a good channel to the downside. We're seeing that push down. So I do see that come, especially if it breaks below 103.20, where it bounced off. And below 103 could get to 102.80. All right, we see the channel lower, that downward channel. Let me take that away. Take the middle line away. That works. I got 2 points there. Pushing lower, channel works as well. So break. Now this is what I would be looking out for. Today is the 21st of November. Dollar index would have to break 103.20 to see 10. I would say it could come down. Look, it's bouncing a bit right now. I think even if it comes down, I want it to break 103 before I would think of 102.80. And I'm just thinking that what are the big drivers that could move the dollar lower? Nothing major. No major news that could move the dollar lower. One of the major things I would think about would be general strength of the other currency pairs. Okay, so what I'm looking out for here is we're looking for a reaction at 103 round number support. Okay, that's the first thing I want to see on the dollar, because nothing's gonna, it could very well bounce off that level. Right, it could very well bounce off that level, and we saw that twice in August already. So what needs to happen is it needs to come down to this support level here. It needs to break this support before we could see 102.80. Okay, reaction, look for reaction at 103 round number support. Broken, could trade down to 102.80. Generally still looking for that downside on the dollar. Not anticipating a bounce, not anticipating a big bounce unless it rejects this support level. Okay, so I'm looking for that move down on the dollar index. It could very well, and if I draw that properly, I know there's a function here, but I just don't know how to use that function. Okay, never mind. I'll figure that one out. But I feel that it could come down in a not in a straight line. It could come down in a zigzaggy fashion, bounce off this. Oh, actually, it could do this. It could come down, bounce, test the channel, come back down, test that level, and bounce back up again. Maybe. Possibly. We could see that happen on the dollar index. Okay, but the main thing is that it needs, or we're looking for it to stay below 103.50 to maintain that downward trajectory. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm just thinking whether it could push up a bit more, but if it stays below that 23.6 level and that 103.50 level, then we're likely to see that continue to the downside. Hey Angel Case, how you doing? Hey D-Train, good to see you. So now looking at the charts again, we were very optimistic on the Kiwi dollar, thinking that it could reject off this level. Right, what happened was last night it did test and reject, come back down again. Right, so if you were at that point, it would have come down, hit this previous level and bounced off. Right now I do think that it's likely to continue to the upside. Okay, hey Spiros, hey Booba, good morning, how are you doing? I think that we have that on the Kiwi dollar, trend line pushing to the upside. That trade would not have triggered because it took such a long time already. So let's take that away for now. I would say that because we are anticipating further weakness on the dollar index, then you would be looking at the Kiwi dollar pushing higher, 6080 needs to break past that high. Bollinger looks okay, so that's what I'll be looking for. 6080 stop loss. Because we are looking at, let me see what's this level here. That's fine. I'll borrow this line. Okay, I'll borrow this line and say that because we're looking for it to break past this point, my take profit is about 50 pips. My stop loss, I would keep it at that point at about 25. Right, so what I'm looking for is for the Kiwi dollar to break to the upside, continue the upward trend, break above that previous high, very recent high, push up to the upside. Okay, so it could push that 25, 50, that's fair. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for. We saw the reaction, it was a breakthrough. What I'll be looking for the Kiwi dollar, would be to buy 0.6080, stop loss 25, take profit 50 towards the big key resistance level. We do have 0.61 here, but you can see that at 0.61 further back, where are we? It did have some reaction, very close to 0.61. Okay, but that's a push to the downside. The last time it got to 0.61, as it bounced up, it broke quite easily to the upside. Tested and bounced. Okay, so I'll still look out for possible hesitation at 0.61. Okay, so what that means is when I'm entering this trade, right, I'm looking for this to push up 6080, could move a good 20 pips, could hesitate here for a while, or could break through. If it hesitates here for a while, maybe I'll think of closing out at 20 pips. If it breaks or sits there and breaks through, then I'm quite happy for it to continue to the upside. Okay, change that to a support level. That's good. Okay, then any questions so far? Let me know. Good afternoon, Ted. How are you doing? Aussie dollar, we had too many suggestions there. So it did not retrace as much as I thought before pushing up. We know that generally we're looking for an upward push on the Aussie dollar because of that rather hawkish view from the RBA statement. That continuation, we see 23.6. I feel that if we did something similar to what we saw on the Kiwi and to look for it to break above that high, you know, it's not really worth it. It's a good 30 pips, 35 pip to the major resistance. So I wouldn't be too keen to try and trade this up. What I would rather do instead is to look for a reaction at this resistance level of 6630. Checking this level at 6630, we can see that it's quite a good level here. Right, we've seen some reactions at that resistance, so I definitely want to see that react. Beyond this resistance, we have a next level here at 6723. Okay, so back to the H1 time frame, back to the current level. What I'm looking for, I want it to go break past that level. If we see that dollar weakness continue on, then a major move would be 6640. Take profit would be a good 80 pips to the upside. Stop loss could be very tight at about 25. That's what I'll be looking for on the Aussie dollar. So do nothing for now. It could continue pushing up, could look like you're missing an opportunity, but I wanted to break above that resistance for that push to the upside. Okay, so dollar in Aussie dollar, we're looking for 6640, 25 to 80. There we have it. 6640, 25 to 80. That's fair. Okay, all good so far? Okay, if it's all good, then we're moving ahead. Look at that. So we've done that. We made that 50 on the yen to the downside. We made the other 50 on the downside as well for the yen. Now it's approaching that key support level at 147.30, highlighted this morning. We can take some of this away. I just like a nice clean chart. All right, so we have that. We'll keep those. That one's done. We can take that away. I don't need that either. I'll keep that, okay. So this 147.30 was when we saw that one intervention from the Bank of Japan, right? When it went to 150, we saw the big spike down, hit 147.30, bounce right back up. We saw a reaction here on the 21st of September as well, tested 147.30 in that trend line and bounced right back up. This level, also that 61.8 retracement level. Okay, so we're going to look at it on H4, zoom right out. Just want to see a whole picture of this. You can see that. That's a really nice picture. Sorry, that's a bit of a, sounds super nerdy, but yeah, that's a really nice picture as a chart. It plays out so nicely. So we have a level here at 146.17 and also a bit on the tail here at 145.90. So that brings me to the point where we're probably looking at 146 as a good support level. Right, as a very good support level here. Back to the H1 time frame and zoom right in. What needs to happen here on the yen? Anticipating that dollar weakness to continue, come down to 102.80. Then quite likely we're going to see the yen, the US yen continue to the downside. Okay, before I say that, you could be looking at 147.10. Stop loss about 30 pips. Take profit could go down to 100 pips to the downside. Okay, I think that's a fair move if we see the dollar continue to weaken. However, I was just going to say that I want to check this. It might be slightly over, it's approaching the level of being oversold. Right? It's approaching the level of being oversold here. Not yet, but approaching the level of breaching into the oversold region on the RSI for the US yen. And you can see that the last time it got to that oversold region, it popped down. When it pushes back up, then you see price push back up. Okay, I think if you haven't already, go check out the videos that I've done previously, but for RSI, it's not always the case that once it gets into that oversold region, we anticipate for price to bounce. I only see price bouncing when it comes out or it's coming out of that oversold region, then you see price really climbing back up. Very similar here. Okay, let me show you that as an example. A vertical line right there. So you can see that at that point, price was still pushing to the downside despite the RSI being in the oversold region. And only when it started turning back up, then do we see price push back up. Another example here, right? Price popped into the oversold region, continued to be oversold, so price continued to push down. Only when we see it pushing back up on the RSI, not even out of it, we see price climbing back up. Okay, so in that case, at this point right now, I do think that we could see this push down lower, even if the RSI pushes into the oversold region. Only when it starts to push back up, then we'll see that bounce. So break support to sell down towards this level. Make sense so far? Just a little bit of an extra there on the RSI for you guys. So 147.10, 30 to 100. Where am I? Okay, so let's make sure I don't do a typo here. Stop loss 30, take profit 100. Okay, sell 147.10, stop loss 30, take profit 100 to the downside. So 147.10, stop loss 30, take profit 100 to the downside. And there we go. I'm looking forward to that. I've had my 100 on the yen already over yesterday and today. Looking for another 100, hopefully today through to tomorrow. Hey Vincent, how are you doing? Good morning. I'm doing super. What are you expecting on gold? I will get to that shortly, so bear with me. Yen looks like it's coming very close. That's distracting me a little bit there. Okay, then on to the pound dollar. Right, we had a lot of discussions about the pound dollar as a possible what if the dollar strengthened scenario. Then we were looking for a possible double top scenario for it to push down, but that double top did not fully, or it happened. We did see a double top briefly, but did not trigger the trade to the downside. So we take that one away. And it continued to push up, driven also because of statements from the BOE, Governor Bailey at the BOE. So extend that fib retracement tool to the upside, to the top. You see 23.6 coincides with the previous, with that previous level there. I can take, I'll leave that there. I like that one there. Okay, so now pushing to the upside. We're anticipating further upside here on the pound dollar. Looking at it on the H4 time frame. Work the double bottom. Double bottom on which one there, Spiros? Let me know, let me know. That's my resistance level here. I like this point. In fact, I would say that's my resistance level. I'll catch that one there. Okay, so 1.2550. I'll catch 1.2550 as the resistance. And then the next big level I want to see is 1.2730. Yes, right. It's Jamil's favorite. I think Mizio De La Rose was buying the pound up as well, but that spike down might have caught him out before pushing higher. Not sure. I think that's fair, but I think that there's a bit too much space in the middle here. We want to consider a bit of that point there as well. Okay, so I'm happy with that here. And the next big resistance there. So back to the H1 time frame. What needs to happen? Break above 1.2550. Push up 1.2560, 1.2565. I want a little bit more space. I would have a 60, almost 70 pip move to the upside. Stop loss would be tight. no more than 25 pips to push up. Okay, I'm happy with that. So looking at this, needs to break above that resistance first. I'm not going to do anything unless it breaks above that point. So 1.2565. We're going to look at the pound dollar. Pound dollar to buy 1.2565. Stop loss 25. Take profit 70. Stop loss 25. Take profit 70. We did not see that. Double bottom on the pound dollar. Oh yeah, there you go. Yes. So that was where it became a bit of a range. Right, we saw the double top, we saw the double bottom as well. It's continued pushing up. This point does need to break above. Jamil said yesterday one trade lost 12 pips. 12 is okay. From what I remember, you're keeping your losses very small, your wins really relatively reasonable. So I think that still plays out very well in the long term. So it's still okay. I'm just looking at that. We're 20 minutes to the close. $25 pips, second trade, 25 pips in a sell. I think you caught that sell there, Jamil, if I'm not wrong. So that's good. Lucky it did not trigger the double top. If not, I would have sold and would have got caught out on that as well. So that's why it's important to have your trigger levels. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that it could it sit there? Sit there and then pop up. Monetary policy report hearings later. Might see a little bit more volatility there on the pound dollar. Okay, I'm still happy with that, but I think it's going to consolidate below at about that 1.2550 level first. All right, could consolidate. Could consolidate. Look for breakout and then buy at 1.2565, stop loss 25, take profit 70. Yeah, okay, I like that. That's a bit more of a complete thought process. So I think that it could sit there for a little bit, right? It could sit here for a little bit. Then I'm looking for a breakout before I would buy it up. There we go. So long as it stays above 23.6. So long as it stays above 23.6 and at 1.25 level, I think that we are likely to see further upside. This one, I'll say, needs to stay above 1.25. Okay. And third trade made a buy today morning, closed my trade 52 pips, good profit. Whew. Jamil doing very well on the pound dollar. One trade losing 12, one trade making 25, and then 52. Very good, very good. Happy, super happy for you there, Jamil. Then on to the euro dollar. It did not, put that back first, it did not bounce down as I thought it could have, and instead it continued pushing to the upside. Very good work there, Jamil. Refreshing this levels. I see that push, I see that resistance turned support. Now just checking this resistance level. Okay, we have it there, that's fine. Beyond this, so guys, always remember, not just because you have a line there, I always want to make sure that the lines make sense, right? So I would check that. In fact, I would refine it and say 1.0945, and beyond that I would have 1.1. That's a big resistance level. Okay, so back to the current level. What we might see, again, this is what we was talking about yesterday. Consolidate at this level, look for it to retrace, test, support, and bounce back up. In fact, it could breach down a little bit lower. So it could do that and bounce back up. Very similar to what we were anticipating for yesterday. Just did not retrace as much as I thought. Maybe this time it would do that at 1.0950. So test this level before bouncing back up. In this case, I'll be looking at 1.0960. Stop loss 20. Take profit a good 40 pips towards that 1.1 major resistance. At that point, you know, it's a major resistance. I'll be very careful with that. Okay, so Euro, I want to see a completion of retracement. Then I'll look to buy at 1.0960, if I remember correctly. 1.0960, 20 to 40. So I'll be looking at 1.0960, stop loss 20, take profit 40 to the upside. There we go. All right. Buy continuation pattern, yeah, for sure. Hey Patel, hey Nirav Patel, how you doing? Good morning from the UAE. Good to see you. Now looking at the US Swiss franc, hasn't done anything at all. It's just been sitting right there on that support level, sitting right there on the support level. Dollar index, although it's been dropping, Swiss has been holding at this support. Hey Kevin, good to see you. Typically, I would say that we're still looking for that downward push. However, I think that there are so many other opportunities that we've seen on the other pairs. It might not be worth trying to do something here on the US Swiss franc. All right, naturally we can say that yes, if it breaks below this point, 8820, we can sell down a good 25, right? Yeah, I wouldn't do anything there. I would say do nothing. I always say do nothing on the US Swiss franc. Look for strong reaction at support level, at current support level. All right, dollar index looks like it might break out a little bit before coming back. We'll look for that. We'll keep watch of that. That's why you see that bouncing. Why I'm saying don't do anything is because although it could bounce, I wouldn't be suggesting to buy that up just because of the big push it had to the downside. You might be saying that it does need to, right, it would need to come back into this level, around this level here, but I think that we're going to have to see a lot of dollar strength for it to come back into this region at 8940. Okay, so I would say, if anything, look for it to break down to the downside, but if not, then I would stay away from the US Swiss franc at this point. If you check lower time frame, there's a pullback. Yeah, I can see a bit of a pullback here. I think you're referring to the US Swiss franc. I can see a bit of a pullback here. I'm just wondering how sustained would it be. Dollar index is showing a bit of that pullback, testing this level. Might even see something like this happen, but even if it breaks out the channel, I'm still looking for that downward continuation on the dollar index. Okay, then on to the US CAD. All right, 61.8 still holds. Take that away. Remember that we do have the CPI data for the Canadians to be released today, right? We have Canadian CPI numbers to be released, and it looks like we might see a slowdown in inflation growth for the Canadians, which would show a bit of weakness or push up on the Canadian dollar. We have a bit of a level here, which is not very far away. It's a good 40 something pips away, but that's happening at 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, so a couple of hours away. I would say that if that dollar strength comes back into play, look for this to push up. I would only be looking to buy this up if it breaks above. So let it climb up. Maybe you can get in there, but that's a bit risky at that point. So I would say 1.3780. Stop loss 60, about 60 pips. Take stop loss about 20, very tight. Take profit about 60 to push up because of the CPI data release for the Canadians. Okay, 1.3780. So I would say that US CAD, I would look to buy 1.3780. Stop loss 20, take profit 60. Dependent on CAD CPI data. Alrighty, there we go. Spiros is saying, Spiros is my chart pattern guy, is saying that double bottom 8844 on the US Sweezy, 8844. Yeah. Yeah, there is a bit of a double bottom here. Could be looking to buy. Dollar index is really pushing up a little bit. So I think what you're suggesting is about 8850, break above that point, double bottom here. Stop loss will be about 20 pips, take profit about 40. Could look for that. That could make sense. Counter trend, so definitely, something that you would do only, especially if you see that push up and there's nothing else to trade, and then you could do that. Safe option would also be to look at something else more ready to move. Right now it's all retracing because the dollar index is retracing. Right, but I kind of like all the others. But yeah, I'll put that down. I think that's a reasonable setup as well. So let's look for that. Swiss franc, we could be looking at a double bottom. Well, wait, we're looking to buy 0.8850. Stop loss about 20, take profit about 40, was that right? 40, 20 to 45. To 45, because we are looking at a possible double bottom scenario. Okay, there you go. Good spot there. Thanks for that, Spiros. Thanks for that, Jamil. I like it when you guys are contributing to identifying setups. That's how it should be. Guys, again, remember, if you can help me out, click that like, click that subscribe button on YouTube, and also if you're on TradingView, that little rocket ship button, and if you're on trading.live, then that little hand clappy button as well. US CAD possible gold to close the imbalance at H1 above. US CAD. This what? Yeah. I think you're talking about this imbalance, possible imbalance here. I think it's going to sit there, needs to push up. Yeah, I think, you know, if you want to take a little bit of risk, I would say that. I would actually do that, but that's a risky move. 1.3750, and then you have that level 61.8. You have that high there that needs to break, and then you have that 60 pip there. Okay, so that's the riskier move, riskier setup, but I think that the slightly safer one, we're looking at 1.3780, about there. Okay, now let's put that there and say that that's the riskier move. Okay, so we're going to stay with that, 1.3750. Teamwork. This is a teamwork session. I love it. 1.37 depend on, yeah, okay. Risky. And then you depend on the data. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. Now, I just feel that it's a little bit near. It might come up, hit this level and turn back down, or it just, but yeah, we're looking for that push. Then on to gold. Look at that. Moved perfectly. Moved exactly on point. All right, moved exactly on point. I was busy, a little bit busy last night scalping gold to the upside, because look, we were talking about gold complete retrace at 1971, bounce off support to trade up to 1988. It did that, it came down, retrace, 1971, bounce off the support to push to the upside towards 1988. So all I did last night was wait as it bounced off, trade it up, scalped it up to the upside. Okay, so that moved perfectly as planned on gold. Now, adjusting this trend. Anyone traded gold? Let me know. Adjusting this trend line a little bit. I think there was a divergence we were talking about. Take that away for now. I'm happy to keep that line there. Checking, it's at 1992 right now. I know I have that high, but I want to catch this highs here first. Okay, I want to see that point there. So 1995, break 1995, dollar continue. If the dollar weakens, we're going to see that push back up. So it's right at that channel there. So it needs to break above 1995 to 2007. I think that it could hesitate at 2000. Yeah, okay, no. So gold, we're looking at what I think is likely to happen here on gold. Break above 1995. Right, so it's going to consolidate, it's going to sit around here for a while, but it needs to break above 1995 to get to 2007. I don't think 2000 is going to factor too much. The last times it didn't do too much at that point as well. Okay, so we did very well on gold for that. Break 1995 to trade to 2007. You could want to watch out for 2000 price level. Alrighty, there we go. There we have it. Look at that. I'm quite happy to see that. I want to see that continue to push down. So it's tested the top of the channel. In fact, if we had the channel right there, just catching this point, then we would have to readjust at this point now. You see that channel, tested the top of the channel, looking for it to push down. Okay, so D-Train's asking, am I correct that you're in rare situations where there's a spike during a news event and the move is against your trade, it's possible that your stop loss will not get filled, causing damage to your account? Yes, D-Train, depends on your brokerage. It depends on which brokerage you're using. Okay, question from D-Train is that in a rare situation where there is a spike during a news event and the move is against your trade, it's possible that your stop loss will not get filled, causing damage to your account, or more damage than expected. Yes, that can happen if you, depending on your brokerage, depending on how close or how far away your stop loss is and how big or significant the move is. But yes, that can happen. Okay. Any ways to prevent that? I haven't come across any. So typically that's why I also say don't enter before the news unless you're okay with the risk. So we always size it down as well. All right. Okay, so now with that said, if you've got no other questions, please help me out. Click that like and subscribe button on whichever platform you are viewing from. I will be posting this up as a summary sheet. And if you haven't already, I look forward to seeing you all on the Discord channel. And for now, trade well, trade safe. I'll see you all on Discord. If not, then tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care now.